If you're preparing for a move abroad, you're probably already organizing a lot of things. Visas, housing, finances, logistics. Maybe you're researching the culture, the systems, or even learning the local language. And if you're someone who likes to prepare well, someone capable, organized, maybe even a bit of a spreadsheet person, there's a good chance you already have a lot of this under control. But there's one part of this transition that even very capable and well-prepared people don't see coming because it's almost invisible before you experience it. And interestingly, the better you are at preparing, the easier it is to miss. Understanding this part can completely change how you approach your move, because the real challenge of moving abroad isn't the differences you expect, it's the expansion you couldn't imagine yet. There's a story that's often told about early explorers arriving in new parts of the world. The story says that when ships first appeared on the horizon, some native people couldn't actually physically see them because they had never experienced ships like that before. Historians now believe that story is most likely a myth. People don't literally fail to see ships on the horizon or any other unfamiliar things in their environment. But the psychological idea behind the story is very real. Our brains understand the world through mental models, patterns built from our past experience. Those models help us move through everyday life without constantly analyzing everything. We just know how things work. These models are so strong that they don't just help us understand the world, they also filter what we see. There's a famous quote that says, "We don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are." In other words, our perceptions are shaped by our past experiences so deeply that we often don't even realize it's happening. And if we were to be asked if that's the case, we would blatantly deny it. When we encounter something that sits outside those mental models or challenges them, it can take time before we fully understand what's going on, or we may even just misinterpret what we see. And something very similar happens when we move abroad. I remember a small version of this from when I was a kid. We were camping in another country, and at some point, my brother ran back to the tent, completely panicked, and shouted, "They speak a different language here." For him, that moment was shocking. Up until then, the world had simply worked a certain way, and suddenly he realized the rules here were different. When adults move abroad, something similar often happens. It's not that we don't expect differences. We do. Yet some experiences simply sit outside the models we've built our lives on. Living abroad expands the complexity of everyday life faster than your brain can immediately adapt. It's a bit like discovering colors you didn't know existed. You weren't ignoring those colors before, you simply never needed to see them. A helpful way to think about this is through the idea and concept of language. And I'm not just talking about literally learning the new language that you may speak in the country that you're moving to. I also mean the metaphorical language of the country, the way things work and how interactions happen. When people prepare to move abroad, they already start learning the metaphorical language of the country. That's understanding what works different. Maybe it's bureaucracy or traffic rules, how to find a house, or how the school and healthcare systems work, and many other things. All of that is like learning the vocabulary and grammar of the country itself. And like learning an actual language, no matter how much you prepare, even if you were to memorize the entire dictionary and all the grammar rules out there, that doesn't make you fluent yet. Fluency comes from something deeper, things like rhythm, nuance, tone, knowing how conversations actually unfold in the real life. Everyday life in a new country works in a similar way. Before the move, your preparation helps you learn many of the words, systems, culture, rules, expectations. Living there requires something more, becoming fluent in the language of everyday life. And that fluency only develops with time and actual experience. And here we circle back to mental models because in your preparation, you are understanding those words and grammar from your existing mental model of the world. And fluency requires expanding your mental models. And I will go deeper on what you can do to do that exactly in a bit. But first, I want to share something very interesting because this is often hardest to recognize for very capable people. Because capable people are very good at solving problems. You figure things out, you navigate systems, you make things work. So from the outside, everything might look completely fine, and it does all work. As a high achiever, what you're used to is that this will help you move forward and adapt to a new situation because it has always worked that way for you. As a high achiever, your existing model of the world is that you solve problems efficiently and with success. And that largely goes for moving abroad as well, at least for the practical things. However, in moving abroad, you're learning a new life language. You're learning to see new colors. Your brain has to learn how to recognize them, interpret them, and integrate them in the way you move through life. And this may mean that even though you're managing practical things very well, your internal world is still not feeling fluent or as comfortable as you're used to once you are living in that new context. And with your model of the world being that you can always pull yourself through challenges, that is even more confusing because normally this all works. And it even shows that things are working. You managed it all. So then why are you not feeling it? Your brain needs to update your mental models. You're not only learning how to manage all the practical things or just learning a new vocabulary, in many ways you're expanding yourself in order to live fluently in a new environment. And that's hard work. Psychologists have a name for this type of adjustment process. It's called acculturation. It describes the psychological transition that happens when we adapt to living in a different cultural environment. A lot of acculturation training and preparation dives into helping you understand the differences in culture and how social interactions may happen in the new country. They may even teach you the theory of your own emotional roller coaster with the adjustment curve of the honeymoon phase followed by the culture shock, etc. I'm sure you could already see where I'm going here. These trainings help you learn more words. Important, useful, and also interesting. But not enough. It helps you prepare exactly what most people spend most of their time delicately preparing, which is to move. Yet very few people prepare their transition. You can't possibly prepare for every difference you'll encounter. Nope, not even you, high achiever. Some of those new colors only become visible once you're living there. But you can prepare for the experience of learning a new life language. You can prepare for the psychological transition, and there's very concrete things you can do here. And this is something I'm deeply interested in helping people prepare for, as I myself wish I had this preparation before I moved across the world. If this topic interests you, you might be wondering who I am and why I care so much about this. So let me introduce myself before we dive deeper into what you can do practically. My name is Ava, and I work with Expat Coaching and Transition Advisory, supporting individuals, couples, and organizations in international life transitions. I'm using my degree in psychology, my training and certifications in neuroscience and behavior, combined with my own lived experience of expat life to help people live their life fully, no matter where in the world they are or for how long. In preparing for the psychological transition, the first thing you need to do is recognize that adjustment process isn't just a curve you go through or a project plan you need to manage. It's more than the logistics and the practical stuff. This transition is also expanding yourself mentally, emotionally, and on an identity level. That means it's very likely that it will work better for you to stop trying to add more words to your vocabulary and instead learn how to become better at learning a language. That is preparing for the psychological transition. And to do that, you need specific skills to land your life abroad with ease, joy, and direction. I'm actually very excited because I'm currently working really hard on something to help you prepare for this psychological transition. I can't tell you all the details just yet, so just make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss it once I can actually announce it all. Like I said, I wish I could go back in time and prepare myself with what I'm building for you now. In one of my next videos, I'll also talk about something closely related, why our brains actually makes this transition easy to underestimate before the move, and the mindset that helps you land well once you arrive. If today's video was of value to you, I'm sure you're going to really like that one too. Preparing well for a move isn't just about organizing the logistics. It's about preparing yourself for the expansion that comes with living in a new world. It will help you avoid the mistakes so many other people made. And the prize is beyond imagination. Because landing your life abroad the right way, preparing for the psychological transition, allows you to experience your new life in full color, including colors you never even knew existed. Stay tuned. I can't wait to be able to actually share this with you. And until we meet again, remember to reclaim the life that you love, connect to what truly matters, and rise above the common.